after someone dies, will his soul, when being around, be a reflection of that someone? Same personality, same traits, same character? Well, in this video, I'm going to answer this question and much more. I'm going to give an in-depth view, my view on life and death, the existence of souls, and how they interact with us. So I would say, take a moment to sit down, about 10 minutes, and let me give you my view, and hopefully you'll get more clarity, and it may even help you to live your life much better, because you may get access to things you didn't have access to before. So without further ado, let's dive into this. Like, subscribe, and share. Hi, my name is Lotfi. Today I'm going to answer a question of someone who contacted me, and this person lost a very dear one. Let's say this person lost John. And the question is John still there as John? Different dimension, but is he still John the way we knew him? Personality, things like that. I don't believe I answered or I touched this subject before. I talked about reincarnation, about life between lives, but not this. So the answer I will give you is my answer. Is what I feel is true. And different people may have the same question, but will find different answers, because everyone finds the answer that's right for him or her. Just like there is not one way of doing things, there is your unique way of doing it, so that it has the best possible outcome for you. And this uniqueness applies to everything. Also to this video, to the answer to this question. I have come to believe that time is not linear. Not linear in the universe. It may be linear in the 3D reality we live in, the one you and I experience, and especially up to some years ago was probably the only reality we're experiencing, where today we may experience multidimensionality in different forms or shapes. And when I say this, it could mean that some of us do feel the existence of other entities, do feel guardian angels, do feel, when I say feel, can be seeing, hearing, feeling, whatever. Some of us do have some people who used to be in our lives, who are with us, supporting us, guiding us. Yes, some dead people hanging around. For some people it may feel like haunting, being haunted, I mean. But for others, it feels comforting. They may bring you guidance, wisdom, insights. They may answer some of your questions. Me, for example, I channel, but I generally don't know who or what I'm channeling. Is it my higher self? Is it somebody who just comes and shares the information? Is it somebody I know who's around me or jumps in to help me? Frankly, I do not care. I feel, I know what to say, and it flows. So John, for example, John may be, at this moment, in this 3D reality, at this time, a guide. He can also be just gone somewhere else and like, oh, I've had enough of Earth, or I did what I had to do here, now it's time to move on to somewhere else. Maybe he is supporting certain people and not others. Maybe he wants to support those others, but they are unable to connect, unable to see because they're not open to it. Maybe because of their pain and grief, they're so locked in that they cannot feel that happy John is there. Or they simply don't believe. But then others may be open to it. Others who knew him or others who never knew John and he's just going around helping people. It's a possibility. Like I said, sometimes I do know who is there supporting me, but oftentimes I have no idea. I know I have guardian angels. I know I've been protected. I know that in crucial moments I suddenly knew exactly what to do, what to say, what not to do, what not to say. And that was not because I was well prepared, because I had the experience. No. It was in completely new situations. High stress. No time to think. And just would be super calm, super centered. Would record everything I need to record and know exactly when to speak, when not to speak, and what to say. And that would take me through this crazy new situation that would freak out anyone who would be in it, and I would be so bloody calm. So calm. Just. And I can't come out of it, and I completely freak out. Like, what just happened? And I realize, whoa, I don't know how I did it, but I did the best possible thing in that situation. Oh gosh, wow, I was so lucky. You can call it luck. Yes, I was lucky, I had the right being coming and putting his hand on my shoulder. Hey, relax. And I would go in deep relaxation and know exactly what to do. Which would be the opposite of what I would normally be doing. So the people who brought me in that situation would themselves completely freak out, like, what the hell is going on here? We were expecting somebody to freak out and to say the wrong thing, and then we could screw him over and whatever, and then we like keep poking, nothing happening. Shit. Yeah, that's how I won a few gigantic battles that I didn't believe I could win, nor they did. So, yeah. So what I feel, I know a little bit about John, but not too much. But what I feel is that John is still connected to our reality. He stepped out of it, but he's still connected. But then, is John still John, the way he was? Well, no. For one thing, he doesn't have a body anymore. So he doesn't have all the restrictions he had, whether it's physical limitations or emotional limitations. Emotional limitations can be because of trauma and things that happened, or of course also related to that, but then addictions, belief patterns, behavioral patterns. So all these things are there. It's just pure soul John. And pure soul John has had many lifetimes of experiences here on earth, probably somewhere else as well, in different shapes and forms, human, non-human, maybe even plant-based. And the soul is having all those experiences. And I said time is not linear, so it means that for soul at the same time it's jumping into all those different experiences, all those different realities. John in 2023, 2024, here on earth, here in Bucharest, for example, and then a few years before that somewhere else. And John as a kid, John as an adolescent, John at work, John in his love life, John as a friend, as a son, maybe as a parent, as a partner, as an enemy. All those different versions for a soul that happen at the same time. So a soul is like an octopus putting its tentacles and having all those different experiences. And also in many situations making different choices. So there are different paths that can be followed, different outcomes. John, the soul, will not forget what he experienced, who he experienced it with. But John, the soul, will be soul. So there will be no more pain, there will be no more whatever restrictions we can have. It will be pure love, knowledge and experience. So all the experiences John has had as John in this lifetime, but also as whoever he was in all the other lifetimes. And I'm just talking about Earth here. This is also why when we connect with souls, the pure soul, we can get a lot of knowledge and wisdom that if it's a soul of a dead person, that the person may not have had. We may recognize things from that person, but there will be so much more. And depending on if we are open to this or not, we will be able to see all those these different aspects, these different faces, these different beings almost. For us as humans, a completely different human being. I mean, I as a teenager was a very different person from who I am today. When I was in my 20s, I was still very different. In my 30s, still very different. In my 40s, I was also different. And now I'm in my 50s. And yes, I'm 52. And now I'm closer to my true self. So whoever knew me before may have seen aspects of my true self. But back in the days, I was super agitated. I would stress people out just by being there. Today people say, I feel so calm and peaceful around you. And people come to me for guidance. Yes, they were coming to me for guidance before as well, but not as often and in a different way, because only those who could connect with my soul could feel the calmness. The others would see all that agitation. And of course, there were moments where I was very calm and I could give guidance to people who really needed it. And I would look back at the moment like, whoa, how did that happen? Who was that sitting there? That was not me. And just like I have changed in the past 50 plus years, John, or whoever we're talking about now, has also been so many different versions of himself. And the different versions are all different because of the situation, time, and space that he was in, with all the experiences he had. And we may even meet certain people in the physical life 2, 3, 4, 5 times. But they're not the same people, they're the same soul who reincarnates. Especially if we live long lives. We can meet someone when we're young who's already old and who reincarnates and then dies again, reincarnates, and dies again, reincarnates. Can you imagine that? Changing gender, maybe even changing color, changing race, changing country. But we can meet the same soul several times. Some even believe that everything and everyone we are experiencing in our lives is just us, our soul, having a different experience. And that is connected to the theory that we are all part of the one. So the short answer is, yes, John is still there, but John is much more than just John. John is cumulative of all the different variants of John, the different versions of John throughout John's life, plus everything that soul has experienced. I hope this answers the question. I hope this gives some clarity, brings some peace, and even more, maybe helping you to connect with people in general on soul level, and also connect with those who are not in the 3D physical world around us, whether they're dead or alive, whether they're people we have known or just souls who are here to guide us. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. If you need support, contact me as well. On my website you can see what I do, the different subjects I deal with. But even if you don't see it there, just ask. If it's something I don't feel comfortable doing, or I feel like I know somebody who's better at doing this, I will refer you to someone else. The important thing is that you take action, you ask for help when you need it. That's what smart people do. I wish you a wonderful day and see you in the next video. Like, subscribe, and share.